I have a lighting problem. And because of it, my footage always ends up looking a bit odd. Naturally, I went looking for a product that could help solve this issue, but somehow couldn't find anything suitable. Therefore, I decided the best course of action was to make something on my own. Luckily, after foraging through the basement, I recovered several interesting artifacts, which included this IKEA Havaris light socket, and also this rare prismatic light bulb. I figured if I could get the IKEA light socket to mount to a standard 1/4" camera thread, I would have a portable and fully RGB light that I could play around with when filming videos. So I got to work, in hopes of setting a new world record for the light bulb camera mount Fusion 360 speedrun. I started a timer to track my progression, which froze in just the first 30 seconds of the run, thus invalidating it, but it was still a massive personal success as this was one of those rare occasions where the part actually worked as intended on the very first try. After printing it out and stuffing the 1/4" heated insert through the bottom of this part, it was time to assemble it all together and give it a go. Alright, I'll move the light slightly to the right, a bit more to the right. Woo! Okay, it's not bad. Right, it's not good. It's not good, is it? I spent a long time coping and trying to talk myself out of this mess, before I realized that this just wasn't going to work. The first issue was the harshness of the light, which casted these spooky looking shadows. Some sort of diffusion sheet could be placed in front of this light, which could help soften it before it hit my eyes. The second issue was the light's lack of direction. Without a clear goal, the light wanders around aimlessly, which not only pollutes the scene, but also reduces its luminosity towards the intended subject. To give it some direction, some people say mentoring can help, but it never really worked that well for me, which made me doubt its effectiveness as a general solution. Therefore, I decided to go for a more standard approach. By combining these ideas together, I've invented something known as a softbox. Today, you can buy my invention online for about less than $50, which is somehow out of my budget, meaning the only option I had left is to make my own. The thing with softboxes is, the bigger the box, the softer the light, or in other words, the bigger the better, which stings because I have one of the smallest 3D printers on the market. To compensate for my small build volume, I would have to think big, which led me to two main directions. Either print out many little small blocks that combine together into a big part, or rely mostly on other materials, printing only pieces that would be used as joinery rather than the overall structure. I went with the second option, because I didn't want to use too much filament, and I already had a lot of foam boards lying around. After cutting out some foam core and another long session of Fusion 360, I was pretty happy with the joinery method, which seemed to hold the foam pieces together quite well. And after another while of 3D modeling, the design was finished, and with it came a slurry of 3D printed parts, meaning it was time to start the build. so I happen to have some culinary grade parchment paper. During the process, I realized that twisting and turning this smooth Havaris cap inside this cup-like structure was impossible. So I stole the thread design from IKEA and created what I call the Havaris grippy cap. These 4 pieces might not seem like they do a lot, but they satisfy a design principle known as rounded corners. Now, the thing with the original threaded insert part was that I never tested it with a tripod. My bad. Let me do that again real quick. This one works, I promise. Oh yeah, I also watched a YouTube short about putting a grid in front of a softbox, so that suddenly became another mandatory requirement for this project. I also lined the inside of the box with aluminum tape because I felt like that just made sense. At this point, I was pretty sure I had autism, but with every bit of it now satisfied, it was finally time to actually put everything together and test our new light. Three, two, one. How's this? Oh, baby, look at that. Look at that. That's soft lighting. That's soft lighting for you, baby. These soft shadows. Look at this. Look at this soft shadow. Look at that. Soft shadow. Wow. I am an absolute monkey. But I can't say that I didn't understand what I was feeling in that moment, because that was one of the first times I've experienced such a directed but soft looking light, which was magical. It works pretty well. Here you'll see some clips comparing the softbox light to the bare light bulb, and you'll see that the softbox light casts generally softer yet darker looking shadows, which makes it look more cinematic. I don't really know, but I am pretty happy with how it turned out, and I am going to keep playing with it, hoping to learn a thing or two about how lighting works in the process. After all, it's not about what tools you have at your disposal, but how you decide to use them. And I'm going to learn how to use these damn lights. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you all later.